Hello everybody, here we are again, and it's week 10, game 10, and great win last Friday night, Coach, and we traded videos with Riverdale along about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then so why don't you just kind of take it from there, what you've been doing since then?
Obviously getting ready for Riverdale. We spent Friday night evaluating video, like we always do, and try to put that to bed before we go to bed. Obviously coming off a real high last Friday night, and something that was a memorable game for our kids, something that our fans, kids, school will remember forever. One of those fun kind of games when everything looks slosh. You're down 27-7 in the fourth, and show a lot of heart and character, and come back and win that football game. So obviously our kids are on a high. And it was a great celebration on the bus ride back from Brentwood, obviously, and so very proud of our kids for that effort. But our kids have done a good job of putting that down. And maybe it's because of our opponents, maybe it's because it's for a district championship, who knows. But our kids have had a wonderful week of practice and just ready to go, I think.
Well, and I think maybe they're starting to realize, too, that they're getting ready to, a lot of kids, football season will either end tonight or tomorrow night. They'll put their helmets up, and so it's kind of starting this time to transition. Your freshman's over, so you're not a freshman no more. You're really a sophomore in football. Sophomores now start to become thinking like juniors, seniors, and seniors now, young men moving on and, taking a hold of something. And let's talk a little bit about that.
Really taking ownership. I think your seniors got to take ownership of your football team. And I think last week, I think all year they've done a great job of leading, but I thought last week they took ownership and said, we're not going to lose. And they kind of let go of their emotion. That's what I was proudest of. And I made them, Monday we always go video after our practice, and usually it's video from the upcoming opponent. But on Monday, after our practice, I went video of the last 9 minutes of the Brentwood game. And not so they could see celebrations or any of those kind of things, but so they could see pure emotion. Because I thought that was the first time all year they let go of that emotion that I think it takes at this time of year to be successful. And they didn't care what it looked like. They didn't care who made a play. It was just pure emotion, exhilaration throughout that fourth quarter, and just a commitment to one another that they were going to make plays. Not one kid made plays, but 8 or 10 kids. Anybody who was called on really made a play when asked to. And I wanted them to see themselves what it looked like to let go of that emotion and play with enthusiasm and having fun and excitement, because I think that's what high school football's for, and they did that.
And they did it with, they did it with 11 men. There wasn't really a true superstar, like one that just took the game over,
Right.
took it over. Like in basketball, you'll see as it gets down, they'll go to their hot man or whatever. But this way, it was a team. There's really clearly, I don't want to say a superstar. They're better as one as they are individuals. They can't do it, and I think they got to do it for 8 minutes. And not many teams get to enjoy and get to do it in that role like that.
All right, I've done this for 22 years, as an assistant or as a head coach, and I've never been a part of a comeback like that. And over the years, been a part of some comebacks that were a lot of fun. But won a game on the last play of the game before and all that kind of stuff. But never been a part of scoring 4 touchdowns in 8 minutes and coming back from a 20-point deficit in the fourth quarter. And never been a part of that. It takes some kind of effort from kids and some kind of commitment from kids. And one guy can't do it in football, obviously. We had just an enormous amount of players that made big plays for us that got us to that point. And I wanted them to learn from that it's all about all of us. It's not about any individual, single person. It's about us doing it together. And they bought in from the get-go, done everything we've asked them to do, but finally we got to see what it's like to let go of that emotion and just put it all together for one quarter. And they did that. And if we do what we're supposed to do, we build from that. That's what should happen. And I think anytime you have an opportunity to have a great year, I think part of what has to happen is you have to win a game that you're challenged and you're put to the brink. And because I think it tells kids that you can get over the top, you can keep battling. Kind of confirms all the things that the coach tells them all year long, and that kind of confirms that that you keep fighting, you keep battling, you keep going through it, then it's going to be okay. You got a chance. And I think our kids were convinced of that Friday night.
Great. 7 turns out of this school, and that's where the reservation is. And Ron Adelot got his start down at Stratford. He's played or coached at the metro level down there, and then now he ends up in Rutherford County, and always been a fan of the wing tee. And one thing about the wing tee I've learned is it's a lethargic offense. They're waiting for the big play, and if they can catch you sitting on your feet on a buck sweep or whatever it might be, talk a little bit about just, and we've talked about it, we've already played it once, but he runs it a little bit different. It's always a little bit, it's got his seasoning in it, I guess I'd say.
Right, he's been doing it for a long time. He did it all those years at Hillsboro, where he won a state championship and was in the state championship game, I think 3 times at the 4A level, and been extremely successful at Riverdale. I mean, went undefeated that first year there at Riverdale and got beaten in the playoffs, but second year had another good year and got beat by Wilson Central in the second round. But so Ron's very good at what he does, and it's a little bit different wing tee than what most people run. And even for him, it's different this year than it's been in the past because he's throwing it a little bit more. He's got Cody West, who's kind of been their leader all year long, and is a really good football player. And they kind of go as he goes, and he can run the football, but he's kind of, against some of the better teams that he's played this year, he's opened up and let Cody throw the football. I'm gonna say, and probably in the 4 best teams they've played, they've averaged 12 or 13 throws a game in those games. So Ron still wants to win the football like all wing tee teams do, but he opens it up a little bit more with this group. So it's a different type of wing tee than we saw at Station Camp, and it's a different type than we'll see anytime throughout the rest of the year if we play anybody else in wing tee. And Ron probably knows and understands it better than anybody in this area because he's been doing it for probably 15 years, or as a head coach, probably before then as an assistant. But does a good job. They have a great defense also, and it'll be a defensive battle. Bobby Wells runs their defense, and he's we worked together at Smyrna for a long time. A really good defensive coordinator, and of course was here at Blackman as a head coach for 4 years, and so he knows our kids obviously, and so it's going to be a lot of emotion going into tomorrow night. It's obviously a big game. It's for a district championship. It's a former head coach here and who knows all these kids, and it's Blackman and Riverdale, which is 7-8 minutes apart. So they call it the backyard brawl. It's my first experience in this, in this game and this rivalry game, but it ought to be fun. I think it'll probably be the biggest crowd of the year that either one of us have played in front of, because Oakland Smyrna plays tonight, obviously, so it should be everybody in town will probably want to come to that ball game. If the rain stays out, I think it'll be an enormous. I think it'll be a state semifinal kind of crowd, that you get when everybody comes to watch, and I think that's what we'll have there tomorrow night if the rain stays out, and that's what it's about. It's and I say this all the time, but I really think high school football is about that kind of experience for kids, because most of them never get to have that kind of experience ever again. Most of them don't go to college and play football, and so they're just a fan from this point on. So for those seniors to get to the end of the regular season at a big game like that in that kind of environment, it'll be one of those memories that they get to take away from high school again.
Well, and you and I, we drink this. I mean, some people might get nervous, and then there's other kids, and I think your kids are really looking forward to it. I mean, some kids, they may get nervous, but it's a good nervous. It's almost like, I'm fired up right now, but it's just one of those times, because going to the reservation, I mean, that's just what it's all about. It's going over there and playing at their house, and looking forward to it. Other than that, I guess we'll wrap it up, because you know what, we're going to need all the rest we can, because the pairings and pickings at 7 a.m. On Saturday morning. We're really looking forward to it. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Or
no, I think tomorrow night will be a fun game. I think people ought to come watch that, and we get to evaluate our seniors haven't been in this position. As far as that goes, their seniors hadn't been in this position at this kind of game, this kind of level. Riverdale's had huge success in the past and won state championships, but this group of seniors for them, got beat in the second round when they were sophomores, didn't make the playoffs last year. So it's 2 groups of seniors that really are experiencing this for the first time. You're playing for that district championship and in front of that gigantic crowd and a lot of stuff on the line. So, but yet we're both in the playoffs, so it's not the ultimate pressure. But at the same time, I'm anxious to see how our seniors will perform. I know they're really anxious. They want to leave a legacy here, and right now they've left one. They're going to be in the playoffs, and most regular season wins ever by a Blackman football team and all that kind of stuff. But they want to leave a real big legacy, and that's been a challenge for them since January. And they're anxious to be the first district champions from Blackman High School in a football uniform here. And so that makes it fun. I'm anxious. I know they're anxious. I've told them to try to stay calm until about 7:30. Then we'll crank it up.
Well, I believe that just about does it. We'll load everything up. We appreciate everybody joining us each and every week. And why don't you come out tomorrow night? And it'll be over at the reservation as Riverdale Warriors will host the Blackman Blaze. We'll see you there.